Montlair Elementary Chorus, directed by Miss Gann, includes students from the 3rd through 6th grades. The chorus meets after school once a week. This evening's musical selection is Jingle Jive and featured at their Singing Along concert last week and was a crowd favorite. They will also perform this and other songs tomorrow evening at the annual Coco and Carols event in Orange Park.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing our sleighing song tonight! Oh, jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Dashing through in a one-horse open, o'er the fields we, laughing all the bells on bobtail, making spirits. What fun it is to our sleighing song! Oh, jingle, jingle, jingle. Oh, what it is to be the open. Jingle, jingle, jingle. Oh, what it is to in a one-horse sleigh. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle all the way.
That doesn't get you in the Christmas spirit, what will? For our student art showcase, thank you Montclair Elementary Art and Miss Snyder for the artwork exhibit this evening. On display are various works from kindergarten through 6th grade artists. In their work, students build their foundational art skills by exploring a variety of mediums using traditional and non-traditional techniques. During the development of their artistry, students learn about the 7 elements of art, how to apply them, and how to identify them in the work of both peers and professionals. Through their learning, the scholars of Montclair Elementary developed an appreciation and respect for themselves, other artists, their work, and the cultures that influence them. Thank you, Montclair Elementary. At this time, we're going to have Mr. Pastor Matt Pace from the Spring Church in Orange Park. Are you present? Oh, awesome. He's going to lead us in a word of prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Yes, sir? Oh, yes, sorry. It's brand new information for you. You'll stand.
Well, join me as we open up with a word of prayer. Father, we come to you tonight, Lord, gracious and thankful for your mercy and your kindness and your love. Lord, I'm just reminded, even in that beautiful chorus that we just heard, of the announcement that the angels made on the night Jesus was born: peace on earth and goodwill towards men. And Lord, peace and goodwill does not only come through the birth of our Savior, but it comes in the way that we treat each other, care for each other, love one another, provide for, protect each other. And I pray, oh God, that tonight at this meeting, Lord, that would be the defining quality, peace, and goodwill. I ask you, oh God, that you would give our school board members, our superintendent, wisdom, Lord, that can only come from you. I pray, God, that you would continue to undergird our teachers, our administrators, the staff and faculty of every single school. Lord, it's more than a career, it's a calling. It's more than a professional, God. I believe it's something that you bring these individuals to for such a time as this. And I pray it's treated as such. And I just pray, oh God, that you would continue to move in Clay County, to move in our school system, to move amongst our leadership, that at the end of the day, you would be honored and you would be glorified, that it would be for your name and your name only. And we give you all the honor, we give you all the glory. In the mighty name of Jesus, the strong Son of God. And everybody said, amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. At this time, I call to order the meeting for our school board meeting for December 11th, 2025. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board on an agenda item, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card located in the side entry door indicating the specific item number or topic you wish to speak about and turn it in promptly to one of our officers. If you have items that you would like to present to the school board or superintendent, please hand them to an officer who will distribute them accordingly. Speakers who wish to address specific agenda items will be heard following the recognition and awards portion of the meeting. Speakers wishing to address non-agenda items will be heard following the adoption of the consent agenda. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment section under presentations from the audience. Your participation is welcomed and appreciated. At this time, we are going to start with our recognition and awards presentations portion of our meeting. Up first is Mr. Butch Collier from Regional Vice President, Synergistics. Sorry.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Since the school district of Clay County partnered with Synergistic, which started in January of 2016, almost 10 years ago, a comprehensive energy conservation program has been established and implemented to address energy usage throughout the organization. Energy specialist Mark Jolly has worked closely with staff to not only reduce energy usage, thus save money, but to create more efficient buildings. Today, we are here to recognize that the school district of Clay County has been identified as one of Synergistic's best-in-class clients. This is only possible through the high level of leadership support we have received throughout the 10 years, which has resulted in a 17% reduction in energy usage and a total savings of $14 million over those 10 years. At this time, I would like to present a banner, an award, and along with the Best in Class award goes a $2,000 donation that will be used for student scholarships commemorating this event. Thank you all very much.
Thank you. Next up, we have Ms. Christina Thompson, Coordinator of District Athletics, for the athletics check presentation to American Cancer Society.
Good evening, everybody. If we could go ahead and get to slide 1 real quick. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Borowski, school board members, and valued members of our Clay County community. Tonight, we're celebrating a powerful victory that goes far beyond the scoreboard. For the past few years, the American Cancer Society, First Coast Making Strides, the Jacksonville Jaguars Foundation, and the Clay County Athletics Department have teamed up for a special mission: to tackle cancer in our community. This October, during the Pink Out Games, student athletes, coaches from all around Clay County came together. They showed up, they wore pink, they cheered loudly, and they gave generously. When we started this partnership in 2022, we had one goal in mind: to fight for those who are fighting for their lives. Slide 2, please. Since we kicked off this partnership, Clay County Athletics has raised a grand total of $36,484 for the American Cancer Society. Slide 3, please. Because of the hard work of our schools and the generosity of our fans, I'm proud and thrilled to announce that this year's Pink Out Games have raised a total of $9,100 and then some. This has been a true community effort, and thanks to the support of the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Oak Leaf High School will receive 40 game day tickets to the January 3rd game versus the Tennessee Titans for raising well over $2,000 for this cause. At this time, I'd like to welcome, thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome Jacqueline Rodriguez, Senior Development Manager with the American Cancer Society, and Kaylin Reinhardt, Community Impact Senior Manager with the Jacksonville Jaguars, as we present the check from Clay County Athletics. I just want to say thank you again, and thank you to both of you for allowing us to partner to such a worthy cause. But the good work of Clay County Athletics does not stop there. Next slide, please. It's my privilege to stand before you tonight to share some of the highlights of our fall athletics and to recognize the tremendous impact athletics is having on our school district. We often talk about the scoreboard, but tonight I want to talk about the metrics that truly impact our district: academic excellence, character development, and community engagement. First, let's look how our student athletes are performing in the classroom. Next slide. I'm very proud to report that our athletes achieved a cumulative fall sports GPA of 3.4. And to break that down further, we had 52 teams with over a 3.0 GPA and an impressive 20 teams with over a 3.5 GPA. Next slide. I want to specifically recognize our top academic performing teams. The girls team with the highest GPA is the Clay High Girls Cross Country team with a stellar 3.85 GPA. And the boys team with the highest GPA is the Oak Leaf Boys Golf team, holding a remarkable 3.82 GPA. These numbers prove that our student athletes are scholars first. Next slide. Excellence in the classroom translates to excellence in competition. I'd like to recognize two of our state champions. They're unable to be with us this evening because they are representing Clay County on the national stage at the Junior Winter Nationals in Indianapolis. From Clay High School, we have Noah Stalter, who is a state champion in 200 free, and from Fleming Island High School, Williams Shoesmith, who is the state champion in the 500 free. Let's give them a round of applause, even in their absence. Next slide, please. Beyond the trophies, Clay County Athletics is dedicated to building character. I'm proud of the robust recognition programs that have been implemented to honor our students' values and hard work. 56 junior high athletes have been recognized through our Character Counts program, generously sponsored by Chick-fil-A Middleburg. So far, we've honored students for demonstrating commitment, teamwork, respect, and responsibility. 241 student athletes were named to the All Clay County Coaches team, and they were hand-selected by our area head coaches. 16 students have been recognized as Athletes of the Week, sponsored by Preferred Physical Therapy and Southeast Orthopedics. 6 students have received the Driven to Excellence Award, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet of Orange Park, highlighting the incredible student leadership happening all around our district. And finally, we have honored 3 students as Athletes of the Month and 3 coaches as Coach of the Month, with our December winners coming out next week. Next slide, please. Now, I'd like to briefly share the rigor behind our Athlete of the Month awards, sponsored by Northeast Florida Builders Association. This is not just a participation trophy, it's a highly competitive honor. First, our candidates are nominated by their coach. Then each of the 7 athletic directors submits their single best student athlete. And finally, our leadership team selects the winner. The winners received a framed certificate, a featured social media interview, a quarter zip jacket from BSN, and of course, this prestigious honor from the school board. At this time, I'd like to individually recognize these exceptional student athletes. First up, Allie Lowry from Middleburg High School. Next slide, please. Allie has a 4.5476 GPA. She's ranked 11th in her class. She currently takes AP courses and dual enrollment courses at St. John's. She's a 2-sport athlete, volleyball and beach volleyball, a 2023 state champion for volleyball, a member of the Middleburg Athletic Leadership Council, National Honor Society, and Beta, and she's accrued over 150 volunteer hours in the following areas: Special Olympics, clothes closet, feeding 5,000, trunk or treat, nursery work at her church, and coaching at youth volleyball camps. Allie Lowry, everybody. Next up, we have Elias Hernandez from Orange Park High School. Next slide, please. Elias has a 4.51 GPA. He's currently ranked 9th in his class. He's an ACE student and also enrolled in AP courses. He's an Orange Park High School golfer, a member of the Orange Park Athletic Leadership Council, National Honor Society, FFEA, and Link Crew. He's active with his church at St. Luke Catholic. He's accrued many volunteer hours at OPHS in different events such as campus cleanup, STEM night, and a graduation marshal. He has also spent several hours at the hospital shadowing a physician with a specialty in infectology. Elias Hernandez, everybody. And finally, we do have one more athlete. Next slide. I'm not sure if he was able to make it this evening, but I do want to share some about Jaden Adams from Oakleaf High School. Oh, perfect. All right, Jaden Adams, everybody. Now, this exceptional young man has a 4.769 GPA. He's ranked 10th in his class. He's already earned his ACE diploma, and he's currently taking dual enrollment courses at St. John's. He's an Oakleaf High School football player, a member of the District Athletic Leadership Council, a member of the Oakleaf Athletic Leadership Council, vice president of the ACE Club, National Honor Society, and National Science Honor Society. He's accrued over 117 volunteer hours through his work with campus cleanup and mulch distribution at the Trinity Church, Oakleaf High School campus cleanup, Clay County walk and roll, trunk or treat, and coaching youth football camps. Let's hear it again one more time for Jaden Adams. I just want to say thank you all for representing Clay County and for being an example to all others. Before we move further, I want to take a group picture real quick. Now, we apply that same standard to our leaders as well. For our Coach of the Month, nominees are put forward by their athletic directors. Each of the 14 athletic directors, to include junior high, submit their top coach, and then the leadership team selects the top applicant. These winning coaches received a framed certificate, a social media interview, a quarter zip jacket from BSN, a Chick-fil-A swag bag, and an invite to the coaches roundtable, and of course, prestigious school board recognition. At this time, I'd like to individually recognize these amazing coaches. First, we have Middleburg High School's head football coach, Ryan Wolf. Coach Wolf is in his 5th year as the head coach of Middleburg football. Last year, he guided Middleburg to its first winning season in 21 years. Under his guidance, they have advanced to the playoffs the last 3 years. This season, they finished 8-3. Coach Wolf is known to hold elite signing day experiences for his athletes, and he gives back to the community by having his team participate in Christmas events at various schools, and he also hosts youth football camps. Another round of applause, please, for Coach Wolf. Next up, please welcome Lakeside Junior High's athletic director and head volleyball coach, Beth Afliji. Coach Afliji is in her 11th year as the head volleyball coach, 4th year as the athletic director. She's guided both her 7th and 8th grade teams to the NEFAC championship 11 years in a row. Her volleyball team has won 19 of the last 22 NEFAC championships, and that includes this year's team taking both NEFAC championship trophies home for 7th and 8th grade with a combined record of 30-2. She also connects with her team by holding team building experiences at the ropes course, creating a big sister, little sister program to help acclimate 7th graders, and she created an award to thank teachers called the Superheroes of the Classroom Award. One more round of applause for Coach Beth Afliji. Next slide, please. And finally, we have Fleming Island High School's head volleyball coach, Amy Yoder, who's unable to make it tonight due to a coaching conflict, but I want to share her accomplishments anyhow. Amy is a 3rd-year head coach of Fleming Island Volleyball. This year, her team was the district runner-up, finishing with a 19-8 record. Fleming Island Volleyball finished as number 10 in the state for 5A volleyball. She created a big sister, little sister program to help acclimate incoming 9th graders. Coach Yoder and her team have also helped Thunderbolt Elementary with a campus cleanup, and she and her team have volunteered at Seagrass Village, an assisted living facility. I want to say thank you all for being exceptional leaders and for your commitment to your school and our student athletes. Let's take a group photo at this time. Next slide, please. Now, our story is reaching more people than ever. And in the age of school choice, I want the public to know what it means to be a Clay County student athlete. Since taking over in August, our Instagram engagement has increased 1,200%. Our Facebook engagement has increased 940%. And we are now delivering over 1 million views a month. This digital growth means 1 million opportunities a month to showcase the hard work and success of Clay County students. It allows the world to see how special of a place it is to be part of the Clay County School District. Next slide. In closing, the state of Clay County athletics is strong, growing, and driven by a commitment to excellence in every arena. Thank you, Superintendent Broski, school board members, and the entire Clay County community for your unwavering support of our student athletes. Thank you all, and happy holidays.
All right, next up we have Miss Mary Owen, Social Studies Curriculum Specialist, recognizing the 2024 Founders Week Art Contest winners.
Good evening, school board members, Superintendent Broski, and our community. I'm honored to be here tonight to recognize our students for their exceptional artistic accomplishments in this year's Founders Week Art Contest. Founders Week is the time we set aside each September to honor our country and the people who have made it what it is today. Founders Week in Clay County District Schools combines celebrations of both Constitution Day and Freedom Week, which recognizes the Declaration of Independence. Throughout this week, teachers and students engage in age-appropriate lessons focused on analyzing primary source documents that form the bedrock of American government, such as the Constitution and the Declaration. Each year, we select a theme as the focus of our Founders Week. This year's theme is Patriotic Places, and it asks students to explore and reflect on the many historic locations that forged our country's founding and early years. Through district-created lessons, students explored key locations in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, Boston, and New York City. Some of these locations included Independence Hall, Fort Ticonderoga, and the Old State House, places where the flame of liberty was first ignited. Students were encouraged to express their understanding of the impact of these patriotic locations through art. The Founders Week Art Contest challenged them to think creatively about how these historic sites continue to inspire a deep love for our country and the liberties that we cherish. Tonight, we have the privilege of celebrating 7 exceptional students whose artwork stood out for its creativity, depth, and connection to this year's theme. These young artists have not only demonstrated remarkable skills, but they have also provided us with fresh perspectives on the historical locations that built our country. Their artwork reminds us that these locations stand as monuments to our enduring freedom. As we recognize our winners, you'll be able to see their submissions on the screen. We've also placed their artwork in the case along the back wall, and those will remain there through January. As I call our winners up, I'm going to ask that they remain standing so that we can get a group picture at the end of our recognition. Parents, feel free to snap pictures as your student is called up. Our K-2 students were asked to tell us what their favorite patriotic location in America is. Kindergartner Savannah Whitaker from Spring Park Elementary says her favorite patriotic location in America is the Washington Monument. Savannah is unable to be here tonight because she is participating in Spring Park's winter recital. We wish her and her classmates good luck tonight. First grade is Liliana Poe from Wilkinson Elementary. Liliana says that her favorite patriotic location in America is the U.S. Capitol in D.C. All right, in second grade, we have Layla Church from Keystone Heights Elementary. Layla says, my favorite patriotic location in America is Washington, D.C. and the U.S. Capitol building. Our 3rd through 5th grade students were asked to reflect on what the most patriotic location in America is and why. In 3rd grade, we have Zuri Watson Cameron from Patterson Elementary. Zuri says the most important patriotic location in America is Philadelphia because it was the birthplace of America. That is also where the Liberty Bell is, a very important artifact for sure. All right. We had a tie for 4th grade, so our first 4th grade winner is Annabelle McGregor from Shadowlawn Elementary, and Annabelle says that the most important patriotic location in America is Washington, D.C., because laws and rules are made there to protect the people of America. Annabelle is feeling under the weather tonight, but I hear she's watching from home, so we hope you feel better. Our second 4th grade winner is Hunter Haas from Patterson Elementary. Hunter says the most important patriotic location in America is Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, because Philadelphia is where the founding fathers wrote the Constitution. All right. And our final winner, representing 5th grade from S. Bryan Jennings Elementary, is Natalie Munoz. The most important patriotic location in America is Boston because it's famous for its role in the American Revolution, and on the Freedom Trail, you can see places like the old State House. We are so proud of our artists, and if you guys will remain there, we're gonna get a picture. Superintendent Broski, do you mind taking one with us?
All right, up next we have Superintendent Mr. Broski recognizing the 2025-2026 Clay County Assistant Principal of the Year.
Good evening, Board. It's my pleasure to be here to present this award. You know, great school systems require a lot of people to do great work, right? It takes not only the great teachers in the classroom, the support people that support them, school board members, all kinds of folks. Last time I was here, we celebrated the Principal of the Year, who was Martin Aftuck of Middleburg High School. Today, it's my pleasure to introduce our Assistant Principal of the Year. Before I do that, though, let me just say, if there's ever one of the thankless jobs in the school system, being an assistant principal is one of those, because most of the things that start on the ground floor, and it's usually the assistant principal that's handling it. So this individual is a leader here. It's Fleming Island's own Brittany Senna. Brittany, come on up. Let me just brag on Brittany a little bit. Brittany does an outstanding job here. They got a great team of administrators. It's always when you signal somebody out, it's like, okay, right? There's always a team of people behind them, but some fantastic things that she's involved with that help make Fleming Island High School the 33rd ranked school in all of Florida. So it's pretty good. She's a leader in creating master scheduling here, a whiz kid at that. A leader in creating acceleration points for Fleming Island High School, mostly through dual enrollment. Industry certifications have tripled as a result of her and many others. Web crew trained, a mentor to new assistant principals. She has her level 2 certification. She's going to be a principal here in Clay County for sure, and a future leader. Leader in ESE support facilitation, which I know this is a lot of educational jargon. Just trust me as superintendent. A lot of important stuff goes through Brittany Senna here at Fleming Island High School. So without further ado, our Assistant Principal of the Year for 25-26, Brittany Senna, Fleming Island High School.
All right, up next we have Mr. Kevin Leary, Supervisor of Personal Services for Human Resources, and Ms. Carolyn Crawl, President and CEO of the Clay Education Foundation, recognizing the 2025-2026 School-Related Employee of the Year and Teacher of the Year semifinalist.
Good evening. Ms. Crawl and I are excited and privileged to be here tonight to celebrate the incredible work that our staff does for our students every single day. It's our honor to introduce the top 10 semifinalists for Teacher of the Year and the top 10 semifinalists for School-Related Employee of the Year. 20 very deserving people who truly go above and beyond every single day. This group stands out not just for their professionalism and excellence, but for the real daily impact that they have on our schools. They lift students up, foster confidence, provide compassionate support, and create the kind of welcoming, empowering environments where every learner can do their personal best.
All right, we also hope that you'll join us for the Apple Awards ceremony at the Thrasher Horn on January 22nd at 6:30. It's always a special night where we get to celebrate all of our school's honorees and announce our district's Teacher of the Year, Rookie Teacher of the Year, and School-Related Employee of the Year. We'll start tonight with our school-related employee semifinalists, and when I call your name, if you'll come up and stand up, stay up here so we can get your picture. First, from Clay Hill Elementary, we have Miss Rhonda Samples. Next, from Grove Park Elementary, Miss Christina Jackson. From Oakleaf Junior High School, Nikki Romig. All right, I think we got competition. Usually it's Orange Park Elementary that has the cheering crowd. I think you guys might get the top spot. All right, so from Orange Park Elementary, we have Mr. John Kerrigan. From Ridgeview High School, Jenner Pareda. From Rideout Elementary, Miss Elise Leto. From Swimming Pen Creek Elementary, Miss Celeste Eileen Deppa. From Spring Park Elementary, Molly Kyler. And we have two that couldn't be with us tonight, but we wanted to make sure that they got recognized as well. Sherry Dominger from Doctors Inlet Elementary and Miss Charmilla Mirage Perry from Lakeside Elementary. Right, you got your thing?
You're going to bring that energy to the Apple Awards, correct? All right, good. So next, we'd like to recognize the educators who guide, encourage, and inspire our students. These Teacher of the Year semifinalists are experts at what they do. They spark curiosity, make learning meaningful, and help students build the skills that they'll carry into the future. Their impact lasts far beyond the school day. And I just have to say, on a personal note, this is probably the highlight of my job, is getting to know each and every one of these people, not because of all the important work that they do, but also just because they are just good people, right? And I know Mr. Broski always says that's the business we're in, is the people business. So best part of my day here. Okay, so starting off from Argyle Elementary, Jessica Armenta. Charles E. Bennett Elementary, Lori Fedorowicz. Coppergate Elementary, Luli Tai. Green Cove Junior, Emily Shaver. Grove Park Elementary again, Dorothy Bailey. Lake Asbury Junior, Melissa Smith. Oakleaf High School, Sibel Perez. And I guess we have to hear from Orange Park Elementary again. Hopefully here, right? Anissa Stutz. Swimming Pen Creek Elementary, Brittany Batten. And from Thunderbolt Elementary, Jessica Willis. Congratulations again to our top 10 semifinalists. And again, please bring all that energy out to the Apple Awards here in January. Let's give them another round of applause.
All right. We have Mr. All right, up next we have Mr. Superintendent Broski recognizing Middleburg Elementary for consideration as a 2026 Exceeding Expectations Award School.
Okay, why all those excellent teachers and support people leave, well, we'll give it 1 minute. Okay, fantastic. Board, if you recall last time I was here talking about SBJ being a rising star, and what this award is, being named an Exceeding Expectation Rising Star School, is that an outside organization actually goes and looks at your data. It's not something you apply for. It's not something that you ask for. All of a sudden you get an email and it says, hey, I just want to tell you, we're recognizing you because we've noticed something, right? When you think about it, that's kind of cool. Like somebody's out there looking at us saying, okay, you need to go ahead and recognize this school. I'm proud to recognize Middleburg Elementary School as a rising star, exceeding expectations. This particular award has to do with the number of students that are on free and reduced lunch, but yet the expectations at the school and how the school comes together in the area of student grades. Middleburg Elementary School from the previous year advanced 2-letter grades in a single year, which is hard to do. Trust me. Big round of applause for Middleburg Elementary School. So it's an increase of 90 points in a single year, which, believe it or not, was the second highest in Clay County behind Argyle. Huge gains in both reading and math, Also 14 points in science. Becky, are you here? I don't see Becky here, but I just wanted to recognize Becky and the work done at Middleburg Elementary School. Fantastic job. The last award for today goes to our very own school board member, Michelle Hanson. You know, one of the things that you ought to do if you're in the education field at all is always try to advance your own learning. And so Michelle Hanson is being recognized tonight for being a certified board member. So what does that mean? That means you actually went and took at least 96 hours of training in a variety of different topics, such as school finance, policy governance, bargaining 101, as well as attending FSBA's conferences, their additional forums, webinars, online training, and really increase your knowledge. So we want to provide you with this plaque as a certified board member. And if you can come on down, I want to give you this plaque and also take a picture with you and celebrate your advancement. So thank you, Ms. Hanson.
All right. And now we have the school showcase, Montclair Elementary School with Principal Bill Miller.
Good evening, distinguished school board, Mr. Broski and your cabinet for always being supportive, our wonderful teachers of Clay County and our support staff and community. It's a great honor to be here tonight to share our Montclair story. It's a great little story, great little school right there in the heart of Orange Park. So if you go to the next slide, please. All right, we have rebranded as a school. We are now the Montclair Monarchs. This is a process we went through over the last 6 months. It's actually taken 3 years to get to this point, really, because there's a lot of steps that we did along the way to do this, and we're rebranding as a STREAM concept school for 26-27. Our zone is the same zone's been there, but the enrollment is way down because there's just not people anymore. There's no growth. Last year, when I checked with the county office downtown in Green Cove, there was one house being built in our zone. So our numbers used to be 560 and every year, and now we're at 380. We have more special pupil assignments and controlled open enrollment than we have actual kids from our zone. So my goal is to increase enrollment through this new rebranding. One of the things we started 2 years ago was the Certified Schoolyard Habitat through the National Wildlife Federation. I reached out to the Audubon Society to see if we can be a bird sanctuary, but they don't do that. So they brought in the National Wildlife Federation for me, and we did a 3-hour tour of our school, 300 little check marks we had to walk through, and we are now a 23-acre conservation piece of property in Clay County, and that's going to be That's going to be connected to our rebranding, and it connects to the concept of STREAM. You know, you hear STEM, but we're STREAM. We add the reading and arts to it, and it connects to it more. So, next slide, please. All right, so this slide here, you're going to be presentation will be shared with you, so you can click on the links that are in there. I always have the Know Your School link, one of the best links that Florida's ever done, because anybody can go and check your school out from just one link. You know, it used to be you had to go find it somewhere in the website. So we've had some great celebrations last year. I'm not going to read all those to you, but you can see that we had several great celebrations. We're very consistent. We're a solid B 4 years in a row, but we want that A grade, and we have the staff to do it, and we're going to do it, and we're going to do it through very intentional practice. Our areas of focus connect to our school improvement plan. Our instructional practice ELA, obvious, is going to be for Benchmark Advanced because that's our new curriculum. Love that curriculum. Best purchase we've ever had in Clay County for our reading program. It is just top-notch stuff. It connects to letters training and everything, so the science of reading. The next on there is science. Science was down 10 points, but we've had, the last 8 years, I've only been able to keep a science teacher in 5th grade 2 years because of life circumstances. They got married, they moved, had to go up north, and so I haven't had any consistency. Well, I've transferred one of my new hires last year who used to teach science in her other district, and now she is really coming on strong in our 5th grade science, so we're really happy about that. And we have some other things I'll discuss in a minute that we're doing for that as well. And then positive behavior intervention support, PBIS, we want to be a model school. We have everything in place for it, and that's going to happen most likely at the end of this year. Next slide, please. So our instructional vision, first is we want to make an impact. That's our clay model this year. We started something last year called 400 Vocabulary Initiative. We're in year 2 of that, and this came from when my assistant principal, Mrs. Harrison, and I went to letters training 2 years ago. Best training I've ever been to in my entire career. It's like taking a master's course. It's a long training all year long, but it opened my eyes to how to look at the science of reading, completely different than what you would get from an instructional manual teaching reading. And the one thing I noticed was it said comprehension is number one. If you can't if you can decode your reading and can't comprehend your reading, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to comprehend it. You have to be able to decode it, but that's not the most important. It's comprehending it. And that training says that you have to learn 600 words a year, and that was almost impossible in our design. So we went with 400 through the Frere model. And it's a visual way of learning vocabulary words. We have a Google Classroom for it for our school. I model it myself through my Monday message. And the neat thing about that is we have a lot of scholars in our school, 53 that cannot speak English fully. We have 10 that are in the monitoring stage, so we have 63 total ELLs. But they'll come in the cafeteria when I'm doing lunch duty, and they don't even know English, but they'll say, "Mr. Miller, be loving." And they'll know the word I taught through my Monday message just by seeing it visually through the Frere model. So one of the best things we've done, and we're going to continue pushing that. Our interventions from our school improvement plan, we have focused on John Hattie's influences and effect sizes, teacher clarity, which is that is learning target and success criteria. Class discussion is engagement, and intentional planning leads to it all so that you can integrate all that into your lessons. I've already delivered those 3 PLCs to my staff, and the next one will be integrating prior knowledge, and then following that will be scaffolding. And there are links there so you can see what we're doing. We're doing total participation techniques and Kagan structures, and that's something that the Kagan we started 2 years ago, and the total participation we started this past year. And when you go in classrooms, you actually see that. You see that practice because you're teaching it, you're modeling it as a leader, and you expect to see it, and it's now visible in the classroom. So we know we have a pathway to success there. Next slide, please. So another thing that I've always believed in is having systems within my school. I'm an Army captain, airborne from the day, and in that manner, you backward plan for a year, 6 months, 3 months, and then the week. And so I believe in developing systems that become norms within your system. And the one that stands on the top is the Montlair family. That is something that I have been working for over 10 years. We were the Montlair Indians. It was something that we didn't embrace anymore because of just the political nature of that. We always embraced the Native American, but the name was not embraced anymore in our community, so we went with the Montlair family. And it's a very intentional practice to get to that point. All our business partners, our faith-based partners, refer to us as the Montlair family, not Montlair Elementary. With that, we have our positive behavior intervention support system with a great team. Our climate and culture team is what we call it because it mirrors the county. The place it starts, though, is on day 1. It's called MCE 101, and it's Montlair Elementary Introduction to our school, and it's a class that I give to all the scholars on the first day by grade level in the cafeteria. It's a very busy day. They can rotate through every 30 minutes, and it's a class where they sign a contract on our expectations. then the neat part of this is every new scholar that comes to our school gets this class in my office with their parents. It's 20 minutes. Then I take them on a VIP tour of the campus, take them to their classroom, and the students, the scholars in the room are already waiting for their new friend. And we go over all our structures and all our expectations, and the parents always say on the way out, that's the best thing that I've ever done. That does not happen at any school I've been to before. And that scholar then becomes part of the family immediately, not just someone that gets off a bus and goes to class, not someone that just gets out of a car, bypasses the whole front office and goes to class. And you might have noticed I keep saying scholar because we have a mindset of graduating high school, not 6th grade. We do have a 6th grade graduation, but our mindset is graduating high school. And we started in kindergarten. The class of 2037 is written on the door. And we teach our 5-year-olds, you are graduating high school in 2037. And every parent who hears that always giggles because they're like, wow, that's a long way off, 13 years. But that is a big part of our intentional practice. Then you'll see the bully report system. That is very, very important to me because I was a victim of bullying in high school. I moved into a new Catholic high school in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania in the middle of the year, and 8 people wanted to beat me up. I went to my principal. He didn't help me. I went to him the next day. He didn't help me. My dad and I talked about it. I had to solve that problem myself out of the nature, out of my character that is not me. I had to solve that problem. So I pledged when I became a principal that I would have the best bully program in any school. And it's not this little piece of paper that you just fill out and write what happened. I've researched it. It's all on a form. You can click it there when you open up this slide. And it breaks down categories of types of things that happen, where it's happening, when it's happening, the suspected bully. And I always say suspected because you're not a bully until proven, because a bully, you have to report to the police. You have to report to the state of Florida. That's not a very light thing to be done. And so you have to do that right if that happens. And then it doesn't work just because you fill it out. It works because then it's an immediate response from the principal. Mr. Bilbray, my guidance counselor, does it with the scholar. He calls me on the walkie, and we meet in the hallway, and he gives it to me, and he briefs me on it. If it's something that needs investigation, it starts right then. It doesn't sit in a box somewhere. It doesn't wait till the next day. And out of the years we've been doing it, we're now down to maybe 3 or 4 a year because all the scholars know there's no bullying allowed, right? That's a known practice in our school. And now when it happens, it's usually a new scholar who moves into our school mid-year, and I've even given them this lesson, and then the next week they're sitting in my office as we investigate. But that is one of the best things of our school, and it keeps every scholar in the school knows they have a pathway to solve that problem. And so it's just a really good thing. Then we have our B board and procedures posted everywhere. There's a sample on it there. That's part of our PBIS. The Monday message is part of it too. This is something that came from the pandemic, actually, was I used to go in the classrooms 4 times a year and give a lesson on character. And I would go to all classrooms over a 2-week period, 4 times a year, once a quarter. A lot of work for 4 lessons. Now I do 38 lessons from my desk with a backdrop with everything about Montclair on a Monday message that I stream to them. And it's 38 times now, 38 messages on how to be a Montclair family member. The first one of the year is be teachable. The one this week is be loving. And they're simple things, but when you teach them, this is how you want to be at our school, and that connects to the B board, then it creates that culture within the children as well. One of the favorite parts of that is the scholar birthday gift. I say happy birthday to all the scholars that week for that particular week. Now, this one coming up, I have to do all the way through January 5th because we do the break in this one. And they love it. And they get their birthday bag delivered from the principal. I don't leave it in a box. I don't leave it in a classroom somewhere when they're not there. If they're not there, I come back. And they tell me their birthday constantly. I'll see a kid that says, Mr. Miller, my birthday's coming up. And this was yesterday. And it's May 14th. And it's just like funny to see the kids that are telling me about their birthday 6 months from now. But it really adds to the culture of our school. The Montclair apology is something that we developed about 10 years ago, and it's a life skill on how to apologize. And it creates this feeling between children of forgiveness. It's called the 5 steps to forgiveness. And we teach them 5 steps, not I'm sorry. That's not an apology. First, you got to respect the person you offended, and you have to ask, do you have a moment? And then you go through this 4 steps from there on how to apologize. Big part of our community. The PBIS, Principals PBIS Reward School Store, when you click on that, you'll see pictures of it. This is something I've done through grants and donations. We have $15,000 in a school store. It has to be new, nothing used. And every quarter I run the store as the principal because that makes it important to the child. If you're giving these reward points and the child doesn't have a way to really cash it in and it's not important, it's not gonna work. So I run the store with help of volunteers and staff members. Another intentional practice, I get to talk to every scholar in the school 4 times a year, just doing that alone. So I know every name of every scholar in the school through intentional practice. And it creates that Montclair family attitude. We have a model PBIS unit for our scholars with emotional behavior disorder. And Mrs. Sanders can tell you that. When people visit our school, come visit our unit. It is amazing what we're doing in that respect. Scholars that were not able to maintain behavior in the regular setting, and they come to our school and they become part of our Montclair family, and it's not just a unit out in the corner. It's actually, they're part of our school, and it's a really, really neat thing to see them mainstreamed. Flagpole ceremony I've been doing for 23 years. From the very first day I was hired at Montclair, my principal, when I was AP, said, hey, we need to do something patriotic for our school. So every quarter we have a flagpole ceremony that we honor our scholars through awards, we honor our country, we honor our community, we have guest speakers, and it's just a great way to bring it all together. Tribal soup is a little leftover from Montclair Indians. We're gonna keep the name because it's something where, as a leader, my attitude is servant leadership. I serve my staff a 5-gallon pot of soup 5 times a year on half days. So the half day comes, we all meet in the cafeteria, no agenda. We come to the table, we eat together, and we become that family even stronger. The Montclair Matrix is a way that everybody has a meeting with the principal and the administration without even having to look at the calendar. Every team in our school is on that matrix, and it makes it run smooth. Talking Tuesdays and Thursdays is something long-standing. We've been doing more than 5 years now. This is another thing where it's John Hattie one is collective teacher efficacy. If you talk, your teachers talk with your administration, and you do it collaboratively, it's the highest effect size of all influences. And we do that every Tuesday, every Thursday morning, and every second Thursday afternoon or Tuesday afternoon, the first Tuesdays with our PBS unit. It is powerful. Every teacher in our school has the opportunity to talk with the administration about discipline, attendance, about our data, about struggles, about things we need to do. One of the most powerful things we do as a school. And then we have the Montclair SOP is written as, it's the military in me, it's written in bulleted format, not a narrative, so that it becomes a normal thing in your thinking when you go to look at it. Next slide, please. All right, we're not going to go over all this, but I just want to highlight a few things. One is we're a grant type school. I'm constantly looking for grants because you don't get extra money. There's no extra money. I can't buy pizza with school board money. You know, I have to raise that money. I have to get volunteers for or donations for that money. But we start with Title I. Title I is the most impressive grant we have. We have 2 teachers that are total instructors. That's what they do. They're not like just for people to help run the system. They actually do small group all day. And it's a very powerful thing. Community eligibility provision. Every kid in the school gets free breakfast, free lunch. That is, our direct certification's 81%, but everybody gets that through that program. Boys and Girls Club. We have the biggest Boys and Girls Club in Clay County with the smallest school. That's pretty cool. We had our meeting today with our director, Beth Davis, and we're at 120 enrollees. That's 34% of our school comes to the Boys and Girls Club after school, gets a hot meal, gets help with homework, and has opportunities for multiple clubs within that. Then we have 11 clubs that my teachers volunteer for. They don't get paid for this. They do it out of their heart. 11 clubs up there. It's amazing that all those opportunities are at Montclair for such a small little school. We even have a new one called the Emerging Bilingual Book Club. Mr. Campbell, he's our ELD teacher that helps with our increasing number of ELLs, and he has a club for them to come read in their language, but also in English. And it's a pretty cool thing because he's so dedicated to that. So our grant mentality, you can see Heroes Grant was one I wrote for Lowe's. It gave us $5,000 to do a community garden. Couldn't have that without the, you had to have that to be part of the certified schoolyard habitat. There's other ones listed there. Our mental health, licensed mental health counselor, safe and sound protocols. Our PE teacher does them. We're just constantly looking for grants because that's free money that can help our scholars. Faith-based partners are critical to our success. Just today, St. Catherine's delivered, well, our secretaries went and got it, but delivered to us 10 huge bags of presents for Christmas for 10 families and 32 children. And that's just one of the ones we do. First Baptist donates to us all the time. I'm constantly reaching out to them. Our business partners, Texas Roadhouse, they donate a potato bar for Teachers Appreciation Day. It would have been $500, and they just come and feed us. So these are always things we're reaching out to. And our Parent Faculty Association, strong as ever, always has been strong. We would never let that pass. They just do things so much for us. Next slide, please. And these are just our celebrations that we have as a school. I'm not going to read all those. You can see those. But solid B for 4 years. We have tons of people going to trainings, letters trainings. All my primary teachers, not all of them, but most of them have been through letters, the teacher version, which is even more rigorous than the principal version. But it's a constant mindset of we want to get better. We want to learn more. We want to be the best. We model the lifelong learner concept at Montclair, and that's just one of the things we'll never let go. We have book studies on that too. And then the last slide just shows you some cool little pictures. Next slide, please, of our campus. And then when you get this presentation, you can click on any of the links, and it will bring you to all the information in more detail. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. All right, last call for comment cards. And so far on my desk, there is no comments addressing specific agenda items. So we're going to move on to our public hearing to approve as advertised revisions to the school board policy 1140, 1140, 01, 3140, 3141, 4140, and 4141. So I'm going to open the public hearing. If you would like to make comment on these board policies, no need to have a comment card, just come to the podium. Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and bring it back to the board. Can I get a motion to approve as advertised the revisions to the school board policies?
I'll move to approve the advertised revisions to our policies.
Can I- Okay, I've got a motion from Ms. Hanson, a second from Ms. Gilhausen. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And there is no human resource special action, so we're going to move on to D4, public hearing to approve as advertised modifications to the 2025-2026 student progression plan. I'm going to open that hearing. If you would like to make a comment, please come to the podium. Seeing none, I'm going to close that hearing and bring it back to the board. Can I get a motion to approve as advertised modifications to the 2025-2026 student progression plan?
I'll move approval.
Can I get a second?
Second.
I have a motion from Ms. Gilhausen. I have a second from Mr. Alvaro. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, at this time, we're going to adopt the consent agenda. Can I get a motion to approve?
Move approval.
I have a motion from Ms. Gilhausen. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
I have a second from Ms. Clark. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, and now we are going to move on to public comment. Remember, you have 3 minutes. Be respectful of others. And first up, we have Ms. Kelly, hold on, Stoudner. And then up next, we'll have Miss Elizabeth Crane and then Miss Michelle Forbes. So if you guys want to stand behind them so that we can just make sure you state your name and your address.
Yes, ma'am. My name is Kelly Stabnauer, and my address is on file. I moved to Clay County, Florida 5 years ago due to circumstances outside of my control. I am from Pennsylvania, where I worked as a teacher for over 10 years. Teachers are not treated this way in other states. Teachers are valued and compensated fairly in pay and insurance. Before someone suggests to go back to the north, as I have heard in the past, I say I would if I could, but due to teacher pay in Clay County, it makes it very difficult. There is a law in Pennsylvania ensuring school board members do not get paid. Serving on the school board is considered a civic duty in Pennsylvania, not a platform for personal gain. I have a friend on the school board from my former Title I inner city school district and showed her the budget for Clay County. She was flabbergasted. The budget is not very different from that of my former school district in Pennsylvania. The main difference is the priorities. They make the teachers the priority in the budget. As I reflect on this contract, I realize that I do not matter to you. My over 10 years experience in another state does not matter to you, as I am not included in the measly raise of maybe 1 or 2 trips to the grocery store. Sunday, November 16th, I sent my father, who lives in Pennsylvania and has been battling stage 4 cancer for 1.5 years, to the hospital. I was up all night talking with the ER doctors every hour, booked the 10:30 a.m. flight. I went into school around 6 a.m. and called my administrator to let them know I had put the week into the frontline system. I was not sure what was going on or when I would return. I was at school to print attendance lists, try and get sub-plans together above the emergency plans I had in place. I was asked to continue to contact subs to pick up. I was asked what we were going to do if a sub did not pick up, if the students were going to be split between the entire grade level or just my team. How many desks were in each classroom to see if there were enough desks for the students. I responded, I don't know, to these questions. And by the last question, I was in tears saying, I don't know. My father is in the hospital. My father passed away November 23rd. I did not leave his side that week, but something hit me. I deserve more. I deserve better. I do not need to play 20 questions about desks in a time of a family emergency. I have spent $40,000 to become a teacher. I spent 15 years in the classroom, and I have never thought about leaving teaching. Never, until now. This state, this county, this school board has pushed me to my limit. I have begun to seek employment opportunities outside of teaching. My father always taught me to treat the CEO with the same respect as a janitor. I take pride in knowing that I have always done that.
Thank you. Up next, Ms. Crane.
Good evening. Good evening. Liz Crane, you have my address on file. At the impasse hearing, I kept hearing the word cuts, that the legislature cut your funding. Well, that's not exactly true. When I look at the FEFP for 25-26, it says Clay County received an increase of funding over 2%. To break it down, the K-12 total funds per FTE student for 2024-25 was $8,838, which was increased to $9,022. I do agree that this funding is abysmal, and those in Tallahassee should be ashamed of themselves. However, let's be clear, it's not a cut. You had a transfer of funding to the local charter schools. That's not a cut, that's a transfer. For the last several months, we've heard from our superintendent about the funding transfer to charter schools. Some of you have mentioned it. Mr. Dietzen mentioned it at the impasse hearing. He even quoted our president, Andrew Spar, about what the real issue is: charter schools and vouchers. Charter schools and vouchers are receiving that funding and doing whatever they want with it. We heard just this past month that the Florida Auditor General of the misuse of the funding. I understand that even locally, some of our citizens are making a great deal of money from charter schools. I was at a neighborhood event recently, and a father who knew I was a public school teacher made a point to speak to me. He told me that his daughter was doing well in school. I inquired where she went. She went to one of the local charter schools. He went on to say that he was so thankful that he could get her into that charter school because the public schools were bad. He said that he was told by this charter school that the public schools would not allow his child to read above her grade level. I looked at him in disbelief. He was lied to. I explained to him that nothing could be further from the truth. By statute, teachers are not permitted to apply limits on reading choices. At the end of the impasse hearing, each of you spoke from prepared speeches. I heard a cry for help. I heard that we should join together and fight for more funding. I agree, the board and the union should work together and not fight with each other. The message, however, is not to beg for pennies. The message is to stop funding charter schools in the voucher program. We're an A district, an A that was earned by the students from the instruction and the work of the high-performing educators of this district. If you would like to work together, please let us know. I would very much like to stand with you on the steps of the Florida Capitol and publicly denounce charter schools and the voucher program.
Ms. Forbes. Following her will be Shannon Hubie and Ms. Patricia Schaefer. You guys will
Michelle
go ahead and line
Forbes,
up.
you have my address, it's on file. Good evening, members of the board. I am a product of the Clay County School District. My military family moved here when I was 2, and they have never left. I will be 49 next month. I have been an educator for 27 years. I want to begin by acknowledging something many people in the district feel, but may feel hesitant to say aloud. Clay County School District used to be a family. It was a place where people generally cared about each other, students, teachers, staff, leadership, working together with respect and shared purpose. That sense of unity has been eroded. What once felt like a supportive community now feels disconnected, and morale among educators has suffered as a result. As one of the presenters at the impasse hearing, I must also address my deep disappointment in how the impasse hearing was conducted. This board was supposed to be an impartial decision-making body, one that would listen carefully, evaluate fairly, and consider the perspectives of the educators who serve our students every day. Instead, it became clear that responses and decisions had been drafted before the educator's presentation was even heard. That is not impartiality. That is a predetermined outcome, and it undermines trust in a process that was supposed to be fair and transparent. In addition, I want to speak to the raises the board accepted. My concern is not about the money itself. It is what accepting those raises symbolizes. At a moment when teachers are working 60+ hours a week and only being compensated for 37.5 hours, your approval of increases for a part-time elected position sends a message that sacrifices of the educators are not valued. You are now earning nearly as much as a first-year teacher who is trying to survive on a salary that barely meets the cost of living. This decision feels less like leadership and more like a dismissal of the very people who hold this district together on a daily basis. We cannot rebuild the sense of family this district once had if teachers feel unheard, disrespected, and dismissed. Decisions made at this level set the tone for the entire district. If educators do not feel supported, the entire system suffers, from morale to retention to the education that our students receive. I am speaking today because I still believe that the Clay County School District can do better. I believe the board can choose transparency over pre-planned decisions, partnership over division, and respect over optics. But that requires acknowledging the impact of these recent actions and committing to do better. Our educators deserve leadership that truly listens and stands with them, not above or against them. Lastly, a comment was made at the impasse hearing that in the business world, there are some years when raises are just not there because the money's not there. Going along with that train of thought, I would like you to tell me of one successful company in the world where someone with 27 years of experience makes about $5,000 more than someone with no experience. I'll wait.
Ms. Hubie.
My name is Shannon Hubie, and my address is on file. Good evening. My name is Shannon Hubie, a teacher, a parent, and someone who has spent years inside Clay County classrooms. Before anything else, I want to acknowledge the people who keep this district moving every single day. The teachers, paras, bus drivers, custodians, cafeteria workers, office staff, and administrators, every person in every Clay County school. They are people who show up early, stay late, support kids through crisis, and fill gaps that no one else sees. They deserve more, and it's heartbreaking that so many still aren't getting it. Now that the impasse has ended, we listened to hours of testimony, data, and lived experience, and after all that, the board voted with the same exact offer that we started with. That made one thing clear: the voices of the people doing the work weren't enough to move even one vote. Only 3 board members here have ever even taught, yet all of you had a why when you ran. You asked this community to trust you. You chose to lead. Tonight, we're asking you to remember that why and to take steps within your control. Be present, really present. Not a quick walkthrough, not a photo op. Spend real time in these classrooms. General education, ESE, middle school chaos, cafeteria duty, dismissal. Honestly, sub for a day. Take the keys, the roster, feel the weight of the work. Understand that optics matter. This year, the staff needed to feel solidarity from their leadership, and they didn't. Nearly half our teachers were offered 0. Support staff received nothing, and yet the superintendent and the board received state-mandated raises from the general fund. To be fair, one board member, Mr. Alvaro, chose to donate his entire raise to create a scholarship for Clay County students. That is meaningful, and I respect it. And we need to talk about efficiency and consistency. This isn't an accusation, it's an observation. We have patterns of avoidable waste that drain resources long before salaries are even discussed. We have seen curriculum purchased district-wide that teachers didn't want, ask for, and in many cases begged not to receive, only for those materials to sit unused before being replaced again. I myself have shelves of textbooks that my boys bring home at the end of the year that have barely been touched. We have seen inconsistent district investments, including safety-related tools where schools received different systems, short-term solutions, and approaches that are already being replaced in under 2 years. It is not misconduct, but it is short planning cycles, limited educator input, and money that could have been spent more strategically. With a district budget exceeding $650 million, employees and taxpayers deserve confidence that spending decisions are intentional and efficient. Efficiency builds trust, and trust is what's missing right now. We're not asking for miracles. We're asking for leadership.
Thank you, Ms. Hubie. Ms. Schaefer. Following Ms. Schaefer is Ms. Rager, Ms. Jean, and I'm sorry, I'm trying to read handwriting, and Greer Yakavon. If you all will line up behind them. Schaefer.
Good evening. Patricia Schaefer. My address is on file. I see what's going on in this county from a different perspective. I've been coming here for years, asking this board for open, honest, transparent accountability. With what has happened during the impasse hearing for our teachers and our budget, optics matter. They matter to the taxpayers. They matter to the parents, your employees, and you guys. You guys state to our teachers, there's no funding. But no one understands completely the budget. We've asked for line item budgets so we know where the funding can be spent and can't be spent. We've asked for accountability on the 1 mil line item budget, so we as taxpayers know where the money's going. During the hearings or bargaining sessions, it was brought up that we could use the 1 mil to pay for teacher salaries or raises. Well, folks, the 1 mil almost didn't pass last time. Most taxpayers in Clay County don't understand that the majority of that money doesn't go to safety and security. People need to know, honestly, what's happening, because we're going to continue to lose people. Taxpayers can't afford to be hit with more taxes. Now, the school district is being hit with the possibility of these Hope charter schools coming in with basically a free ride on our taxpayer money. That means if there's extra space in a school, these new Hope schools can come in, not pay our district for electricity, busing, upkeep of the rooms, and the list goes on and on. I have not seen one public discussion about that from you guys. We need to prevent that from happening. Duval is getting hit hard with notice after notice after notice that they're coming in. Well, we just had a wonderful presentation of a school here that they only have 361 students. So how many classrooms are open that a charter school could come into? You know, that affects all of us. Instead of being reactive, it's time that our district become proactive. Work together with the teachers, the taxpayers. We all have a stake in this. These students are this county's future, and it's time we get real, open, and honest. Thank you.
Ms. Jean.
Hi, I'm Betsy Reger. I am, my address is protected. I got a lot to say. I got a lot of words in my mouth. It's been a long time since I've been here, but I'm a fifth generation Floridian. I'm a registered Republican. Shouldn't matter, but probably does to you guys. I'm a Clay voter. I've lived here for 13 years. But most importantly, I'm a mom of 5 kids, 3 of whom have graduated from this very school, and 1 left at home who is still at Green Cove Junior High. These are the best schools my kids have ever attended. The best teachers, the best bus drivers, the best paraprofessionals, the best food service. This is a great school district. It has nothing to do with the folks that are sitting up there. I've been watching your school board meetings, even though I don't always have time to come. I've been watching, and I am disgusted. How dare you accept a raise that is twice what you are offering to your teachers, and only half of them, and leaving the half of them with nothing. Nothing offered for ESPs yet. I am so tired of my kids' teachers having to work second and third jobs to make ends meet. So tired of that. Tired of watching this board show zero respect for the folks that make this school district so great. I'm heartbroken that I'm hearing from my ESPN teacher friends that they can't afford prom dresses for their daughters, that they can't afford graduation gowns for their kids, that a class ring is just a pipe dream. And you should be ashamed of that. You sit here, fat and happy at a part-time job that pays you almost as much as a first-year teacher when you have worked less than they have worked in the first 2 days of their month. It's obvious from your prepared in advance statements from the hearing that you had no interest in following the law, no interest in being fair and impartial, no interest in doing what is best for the children of this community. None. There is no evidence of that. You viewed that as theater you had to sit through. The last time that a school board showed this level of disrespect to the teachers and the staff of this community, the next school board election, the citizens of Clay County voted out 3 of them and flipped this board, and we can do it again, and I will do everything in my power to make sure that that happens. Do you even know how many of your employees have their personal children on angel trees in this community? Do you have any idea? You should be ashamed of yourself. Merry Christmas.
Ms. Jean.
Good evening. My name is Dunia Jean-Baptiste, and my address is on file. Greetings to all. On a positive note, constant and consistent praise to educators is what you do. The $800 pay increase does not reflect the values you claim to place on educators. Teachers with less than 10 years of experience were excluded. What is the real value of a Clay County teacher to you? Because $800 divided by the 25% taxes equals about $600. Over 12 months, take home is $50. Per workday, $3.33. I could not afford to pay for school lunch, $3.33 per day. $50 does not cover utility bill, home internet, or gas for most vehicles. We ask you to move past hollow praise and vote for a competitive compensation plan that shows you believe educators are worth more than $3.33 per day. This is not about math. This is about priorities. When the school board prioritizes a $1,400 increase for themselves, an increase that is 75% higher than the maximum amount offered to a veteran teacher, you are sending a clear and undeniable message. If you believe by acceptance your service is worth $1,400, how can you look at the person, the people educating the children, and say their service is worth less than $600 or $0 compared to you? Again, I have to say, I can't believe what you say because I see what you do. You are responsible, if we are a family, to set a tone. That fell on your shoulders when you decided to become school board members. How are you going to elevate the path of educators? How are you going to elevate the outlook that others have on educators when you do what you do on a regular and consistent basis? The fact that we have to come before you to ask for what we have earned, not what you hope we will do. It has been earned over and over again. To have to come before you to ask for what is earned is a disjustice to the career field, to everyone who has taken on the role to become an educator, a giver, a provider, above and beyond what others are willing to do. We are first responders.
Thank you. Ms. Greer, you're up. Following her, Ms. Nikita Copeland, Bruce Friedman, and Mr. Harris.
Okay, can you reset the clock since you started it while you were making announcements?
Can you turn it back to 3 minutes, please?
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Greer Yakavone. I've been teaching in Clay County for 28 years now. And in that time, I've actually gotten to work with and know several of you that are sitting on the board right now. Mr. Broski and I go way back. First, you were my boss at Orange Park Junior. And then you were the principal for both of my children at different times, one at Middleburg High, one at Oakleaf High, and now you're my big boss as the superintendent. I voted for you. I respected you. And I think in all the years that we've worked together, you, Kelly Watt, Michelle Hansen, Brenda Troutman, I think you all know me well enough and would agree when I say that I have worked tirelessly to dedicate myself to my students and ensure that they learn everything they can and help them live to their greatest potential. Several years ago, Mr. Broski, you even offered me a job at Oakleaf High School. Unfortunately, my daughter said no because she was still going to school there. And I didn't want to ruin her senior year. So now I'm happily continuing to teach, moved on from junior high to high school. In all this time, my concern is after 28 years, I've seen board members change, but no change in action among the board. We work really hard as teachers to help our students be successful, and we've earned the A rating for Clay. But do we get the respect we deserve for that? Let me answer by quoting my own mother. Your actions speak louder than your words. Let me see if I can share a few things that might help you rectify the situation. And if you haven't already started planning to make this right next year, do it now. For example, you can cut out a lot of our administrative overhead. I did a comparative analysis of Clay County to St. Johns County, and we spend an average of $155.48 more per student for administrative functions. That meaning more principals and so forth. If we can reduce that, we would have better operational efficiency. We could reduce the $20 million budget for administration, school board. How much of our money is being spent for your needs for transportation and your facilities when I can't even get markers for my classroom so that I can do collaborative discussions and have cheap dollar store hack dry erase boards so my kids can answer and show me the electron configuration for neon. Save us money from yourselves and put it back into the teachers so that we get what we deserve. I don't know if I can ever retire.
Thank you, Ms. Copeland.
My name is Nikita Copeland, and my address is on file. Please remember my face, my name, and my voice, because I'm sure you'll be hearing a lot from me moving forward. The last time I came in front of this board, I was short, sweet, and to the point. But today, I'm going to address it from a different perspective. Because I was at the last meeting, the impasse hearing, and we seen what you did there. We all seen what you did there. I'm coming as a taxpayer, a community leader, and a mother of 3 children in the Clay County schools. 3 kids that sit in your classrooms every school day of every year. And their futures are being shaped by the talented people behind me and those who couldn't make it tonight. Those are the same people you told, that most of them, that they weren't worth a raise. They're worth 0%. Those same individuals that made you able to brag about your A-rated schools. The vote amounts to more than just an insult to the teachers, but to the community and to the collective futures of everyone in this room and in this county. To make the message clear and understandable to the masses, your math is not mathin', but the message that you're sending is loud and crystal clear. That vote was essentially you unleashing a Trojan horse, but you didn't send it across enemy lines. You sent it directly through the front doors of every Clay County school. It's essentially dismantling the cogs that make your system work. The lack of respect you've shown the teachers and the staff with not considering them for a raise while accepting one for yourself has major consequences that you all don't seem too concerned about. And what's crazy is the raise didn't have to be much, but something fair to show them that you really do care, that you value them, and that the respect is there. Our teachers are in the trenches and they're doing the work, and you all are sitting part-time in the seats, preparing your vote well before the vote was even cast. Your statements before the vote was even cast. That doesn't equal whisper or scream of impartiality. It screams scripted. From a community standpoint, a common sense standpoint, and in the words of the youth of these wonderful, talented, capable, and worthy individuals that we serve, you're cooked, and y'all are handling the hot pads. All that to say, you cannot claim excellence while refusing to invest in the people who are actually producing that excellence. Our full-time teachers and staff work weekends, weekdays, holidays, and breaks preparing, planning, and executing the very lessons that have our children reach that prideful A rating. as a parent, a nonprofit director, and someone who engages with families and educators on a daily basis, the ripple effect is hitting. The moral of the story, members of the board, we all know better, we expect better, and it's time that you aim to do better.
Thank you, Mr. Friedman. Mr. Harris, you'll follow him.
Hi, Bruce Friedman, address on file. Just to finish up with some of the earlier comments. Robert, thank you for creating that scholarship fund. I think your respect for optics is worthy, and it's also, we call you a mensch, a gentleman. We're watching the natural tug of war when there is no more money. Why there's no more money, there's a lot of reasons, but it's been mishandled. Not necessarily by any of you in particular, but overall, the system has been exceeding its budget and losing its grip. So you have a growing community. There's more houses here than ever. You have more students than ever fleeing the system. The availability of vouchers in charter schools is a threat to the status quo, and any threat to the status quo is going to cause strife. But in this case, what's happening is the competition has got some advantages because they don't have to cover the burden that the system does, like paying the lights, paying for security. So you're going to be replaced by vouchers and charters and other options and homeschooling, and all of these other things are going to ultimately drive more students away from the public schools and further reduce your budget. So today, there's no money to give these people who work hard a raise. I don't know anybody who doesn't think they deserve a raise. We all deserve a raise. You're not going to be able to give them a raise unless you address the inherent waste in the system, whether it's administrative bloat or buying porn for our kids' libraries. I don't really care where you scrape the pennies from. Find some pennies for these hardworking people and rescue this system from itself. Tonight, I'm submitting one book challenge, back on task. I went to the Destiny system, typed in the word adult. How many adult books do you have for the children we keep sending you? There's many. I don't know why you haven't figured out how to look for them yourself, but apparently you haven't. So this adult book that's on the shelves in one of our high schools, it has the F word 250 times. It's got some other really fancy choice words. It is not a literary masterpiece. It should never have been purchased. It's one of the over 1,000 books have already been removed because they violate law. Who's watching all of this go down? Mr. Broski. That's on you. I'm going to continue to keep the pressure on and clean up the mess you've left for our children. Do better. Have a good night.
Mr. Harris.
All right, Chris Harris, my address is on file. My plan is to keep coming as well, but for different reasons. I just wanted to say a couple of quick things. A lot of them have already been mentioned. The raise that was accepted, I don't know the ins and outs of it. I don't know how it works, so I'm not going to pass judgment. I'm just going to say what you've heard before, which is the optics of it are very bad. I don't know if that was the intent. I don't know if you're surprised by the optics being bad, but they're not good. Having pre-prepared statements at the impasse hearing, not good optics. Whether or not you were going to change your vote, that's a moot point. Even if you knew or talked about it beforehand that you were going to vote for your proposal, that's fine, but I would have come in and not made it obvious that you had already written statements. It's just not a good look. I certainly appreciate all the people who have spoken this month and last month, but again, I'm going to try to focus on the future because what's done is done and we can't fix anything that's been done. So I've been more involved recently. I guess that's a good thing. I've been a teacher for 21 years and I I guess I have not made the time to be more involved, and you might not like that I'm going to be more involved moving forward. But I've been watching all of the meetings and watching all of the workshops, which have been helpful, and I would like for every single workshop, if possible, for you to address the plan moving forward for teacher pay. What's the plan? What's the next step? What have we done in the month since our last workshop? What are we going to do next month? I want open and honest and transparent communication from you to us on what the plan is. Otherwise, we're going to continue to be in the same situation 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years down the line. I'd also like to ask that you have more transparent communication with our legislatures. I hear that you communicate with them. Let us know what that communication is like. Tell us what you say. Tell us who you speak to, so that we know. And lastly, I would like for you to have more transparent communication with our parents and the other the other stakeholders in the county, because I just don't feel like they fully understand what's going on in our county budget-wise, the plight that we're dealing with charter schools and vouchers and Tallahassee and all of those things. To me, you're supposed to be the mouthpiece for us as teachers, but also for the school board as a whole. And I feel like it would help you to not get so much anger towards you if you could communicate to everyone what we're having to deal with and what you're having to deal with as a school board. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is Ms. Kidwell present?
Good evening. This year has tested Clay County District employees in unprecedented ways. More than 200 educators were displaced through repeated RIF actions. Some left the district and many began the year in positions they never chose. Now we end 2025 with a compensation offer rejected by 92% of educators and imposed through impasse. Educators have consistently shared their financial strain, their low morale, the toll these decisions have taken on their families. Many feel the district's actions have been insensitive, disrespectful, and dismissive of their dedication and expertise. Clay's educators are mission-driven. Their instinct is to serve students, not to advocate publicly for fair pay, not to stand at podiums, not to fight to be heard. Their effort that they are expending just to remain in this profession and in this district shows how deeply these issues are affecting them. Words matter, but rebuilding trust now requires action. Clay County District Schools cannot thrive if its educators are discouraged and leaving for better paying jobs. Strong leadership safeguards employee morale and invests in the long-term stability of the organization. I'm asking you to take their concerns to heart and respond with clear, tangible steps. Show employees that Clay County District Schools has a plan for their future, one that prioritizes retention, respects their expertise, and makes clear that Clay County intends to remain a destination for high-quality educators. Teachers need to know that this board is committed to their future in Clay. As 2025 closes, we must find a way forward together. Educators want to stay, and they want to believe in this district again. In this season of hope, we have a responsibility to begin the healing. You can start by giving employees confidence in the path ahead, especially a 2026 budget plan that moves Clay County District Schools towards competitive salaries. Our educators want to shift their focus back to what they do best, serving the students of Clay County. This is the moment to recommit to our values and the impact we can make in our community. Let us move forward together with a shared purpose. Let us rebuild trust through meaningful action, not statements alone. And let us work together to ensure Clay County District Schools is not simply known as a great place to teach and learn because it once was, but simply because this board chooses right now to take the steps that will keep it strong, competitive, and worthy of the educators who serve our students every day. And I do want to definitely comment and acknowledge and the appreciation for the recent action that showed both respect and solidarity with employees. 3 days ago, the Clay County Education Foundation posted a new scholarship. It is now available by the generous donation of a school board member, Robert Alvaro. This $1,500 scholarship is made possible by his donation of his 3% salary increase. Thank you, sir. That is appreciated and will not be forgotten.
Is Mr. Roberts available or here tonight? All right, Superintendent Broski.
All right, before I get started, just while Kelly gets that the clicker, just a couple things, a couple clarifications, if I could. I'm certain board members are going to want to comment about some of the things that they heard during their comments, so I won't pretend to comment on behalf of the board. But I will address the co-location. I think you're right. We should probably talk more about co-location. Co-location is when a charter school can come in and take available space within a school. It's when you look at it, if there was a vacant school, you would say, as a taxpayer, I think you would say, hey, you can use the vacant school, right? The problem with co-location, the way the law is currently written, is that it could be part of a school, partial school, but the cost to run the school is incumbent upon the school district if that were to happen. So imagine a School of Hope taking over. I'm not even going to say a school's name because then that'll be like a news event or something. Half a school, and we would have to pay for the custodians on the other half of the school, for the electricity on the other half, the cafeteria for those students, like the whole thing. So the issue really that's not being told to the public is simply that co-location, the cost of co-location goes on to the school district, not on to the School of Hope. So in Clay County, just a little clarification, our utilization rate is very high. It's over 85% in all of our schools, which doesn't make us a target like I think 26 other districts. I think there was like 650 letters put out. In other words, Schools of Hope attempting to take over 650 different schools. We'll see how that all shakes out. I actually agreed with Mr. I don't write this down or anything. I agree with Mr. Friedman for the first 30 seconds of his. We're talking about schools of Hope and about vouchers. In the area of vouchers, let's be clear. The issue with vouchers is not school choice. The issue with vouchers is that public funding is going to support folks that go to private school. I say proudly that I went to Catholic school through 8th grade and then went to public high school. There's 10 in my family. All 10 of us went to the same Catholic school. The issue is not the ability to have choice. The issue really is to use public funds in order to pay for private schools. So in Clay County, that amount is just shy of $30 million and growing. So that's really a big issue. I agree with Mr. Harris, not to single Mr. Harris out, but a plan and being more transparent and kind of showing that. I would just say, just from my own art, and I'll let board members speak for themselves. Of course, we want to do that. So that you'll see that at the workshop. So on to the other stuff, because I never know what I'm going to talk about after listening to you guys. So on the Schools of the Month, Superintendent Advisory Councils, Bannerman Learning Center, Lake Asbury Junior High are our Schools of the Month. Fantastic schools, both of them. Was just at Bannerman today. Bannerman Learning Center does an amazing job under very difficult circumstances, and so does Lake Asbury Junior. Don't forget, for January, it's reading resolutions. We hope that everyone votes there. Just want to highlight the advisory councils. Our student council has about 45 students from all of our secondary schools. Their focus was on mental health. Let me tell you, mental health for young people is a real thing. So for those of you that don't realize that it is, the the increase of social media and the need. I thought a student was going to bug out when I said to her, I said, "Why do you care what other people think about you online?" For old adults, it's easy to kind of shrug that off and say, "I don't care what people think." For young people, it's not that easy, and it's big. It's a big issue. Uh, Great group of students with great ideas. For teachers, they were focusing on strengthening the family engagement. You know, you hear me talk about this all the time, that parents have their students 86% of the time of the year, 86% of the hours. We only have them 14% of the time. We got to engage parents. Parents need to do their part. Yeah, there's parents' rights, but there's also parents' responsibilities. And so this group of teachers, we were tackling that particular topic, and very proud of their work and their teacher voice. November, Family Engagement Month. There's a little competition there that you can see that. These are simple things that families can do to engage in the educational process of their child. We're seeing that from a very early age. For Veterans Day, a lot of celebrations out there, a lot of pride. I was at Patterson, that you see in there. I'm very proud of the programs that we bring forward. STEAM grant to Lake Asbury Junior, one of our community-based partners, gave a $30,000 grant to Lake Asbury Junior through the Clay Education Foundation. That's National Gypsum out of Green Cove Springs. You know, we also need the business partners to rise up. I do think that one of the things that I did hear from all the speakers was the need for everyone to unite, for folks, you know, on I-10 a little west of here, and kind of bring our voice there. And I would agree wholeheartedly. While it is true that if you do the math and you say that the budget did go up, the amount that went up is probably about $38 million short, when you look at it over time. The Boys and Girls Club. Oh gosh, we're gonna be able to play this. Let's do it. So while you're watching that, I'll simply say 22 teams, different districts, 3 out of the 4 winners were Clay County. Orange Park Junior High, Keystone Heights Elementary, Wilkinson Junior High. Very proud of that effort. Anytime we can beat others, I'm happy. Hate to say that. I didn't mean it that way, but you guys, in a competitive way for students, of course. So just want to remind everybody, last day of the second semester is December 19th. Christmas break is the 22nd through the 1st. Teacher planning day is the 2nd. The in-service day is on the 5th. Students return to campus on the 6th. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas or any other holiday that you might celebrate. This is the time. I did hear some talk about healing, uniting, and moving forward. As superintendent, I would encourage that to occur. I recognize, I think we all recognize, we hear you, in other words, but you know, to have a plan that does require trust in both ways. And so I appreciate that, and I hope everybody has a great holiday and a great break. Thank you.
All right. Any school board attorney remarks? All right. So we will start with board members. Ms. Gilhausen?
Nothing for me tonight. Just Merry Christmas to everyone.
Mr. Alvaro?
I want to congratulate the coaches that got awarded today. Also, the student athletes that got awarded today. They're doing a great job. It's very impressive how far they can get, still so young. Congratulate also the little kids that got awarded for the artwork. So thank you to Principal Miller for the great job he's doing in his Montlair Elementary School. It seems like he had it, under control. It's pretty good. Also, I wanted to share something. A week before our the day we made the decision, wrote a statement, but I wrote a statement of support to the teachers. That statement that I wrote didn't mean the decision was made. It was a statement understanding the situation, understanding that you guys do deserve the raise and that you got my support as much as I can do. That was my statement. It didn't have anything to do with the decision being made ahead of time. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Ms. Clark.
If I have a voice, hopefully I will. FSBA, the Florida School Board Association, sent us an email today, and I read it a little quickly, as I usually do, till I have time to go through it thoroughly. It mentioned in one of Governor DeSantis's comments, it mentioned that Florida ranked #1 in education. And that kind of blows my mind because I'm going, in what way is Florida #1 in education? I think about our level in all the states across this nation as far as funding goes, and Florida could do so much better. But apparently it's #1 in school choice. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. The pendulum has swung too far regarding vouchers, and we've got to get back to a balance. The fact that I can drive down Kingsley and pass Grace Episcopal Day School and knowing that they are now getting a check for going to that school, it's taking away from our district. And unfortunately, it's like our college tuitions. It only allows the colleges to go up on prices. And our district has to do everything. We offer ACE, we offer ESE, athletics, dual enrollment, opportunities that many schools, private schools, don't have. And we have to do it all. And I think Clay, for many years, is why so many people came to Clay, was for the schools. They didn't want to be in Duval, and St. John's had not grown yet. But we already recognize that we have to work together. We've already made plans, and we will be transparent. But the hostility on all sides has to end. We don't win with hostility. There were a lot of personal things that could be said, but I won't. It's petty. I would like to mention that I'm going to send to the 7 high schools an opportunity for a $1,000 scholarship that the DAR group, Sophia Fleming chapter, that I happen to be a member of, will be giving to a high school student. And I'd like to see as many students participate as possible, because there's no sense in leaving $1,000 on the table when they can have that for their education. Last thing, I made a bet when school started that we would have no hurricanes, and hopefully we will have no snow days. So I'm happy to say that we won that bet. We had no hurricane days, and maybe we will get lucky and, unlike last year, not have a snow day. But Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, and just be safe and come back. Thank you.
Ms. Hanson.
I'm going to talk about why I became a teacher. I became a teacher because of my overwhelming need to serve. I was a military wife, and I wanted to serve. What could be more noble than helping a child learn to read? I too worked myself to death as an English teacher, 60, 80 hours a week, missing my kids grow up. But when I put my name on my contract, I knew how much I was getting paid. We have 2,700 teachers in Clay County, and believe it or not, Most of them are happy. Most of them are happy. I visit schools all the time. They do it because they love kids. I can also tell you what a blessing it was to have summers off with my kids, my family, Christmas, Thanksgiving, 3-day weekends, every federal holiday, spring break. I always felt it was a blessing to be a teacher and make my money in 196 days. There's a lot of me's out there. There's a lot of teachers that love their job. 1% maybe show up here, but you talk about board members going into classrooms and talking to teachers, I do that. We have thousands of teachers. Should we pay everyone more? If I had $10,000 per teacher right now, I would gift it to you. I would gift it to my own daughter, a single mom with 2 kids. I also decided tonight I'm not going to sit up here and be a punching bag. There was 3 things I'd like to address. I'm not sure if you know the difference between disinformation and misinformation. But disinformation is when people deliberately spread untruths or facts that are not correct. Misinformation might occur when you talk to one person to another and the facts get a little construed or confused. What we're dealing with is a lot of disinformation. We talk about transparency. My husband and I have a standing joke. Workshops, all 3 of us watching the workshop, my husband will say to me as I drive home. Forums, people don't show up. They don't watch workshops. They don't take notes on what we're doing. Board meetings, 26 people watch a board meeting. Do you know how many people watch the impasse, any of those hearings? I was one of the 15 or 20 people that watched negotiations. I watched Brenda Troutman say the same thing for 4 months. We have $1.2 million, $1.2 million. The union found money. What they don't tell you when they found money is that money is committed in categoricals that cannot be spent anywhere else. We found $8,000. That money belonged to ACE programs, IB programs. There is not a dime in our budget. And you can buy the school finance book or go online and read about it that isn't obligated to something. Period. There was no found money, because if there was, this board and our superintendent would 100% give in every dime of it like we have for the past 3 years. I asked myself, did it dawn on anybody that we're actually telling the truth about the $1.2 million? It is frustrating to sit up here and be talked to like we're a bunch of liars who aren't trying to be transparent, when in fact, many people do not engage with anything this board does. And I said this to my family yesterday. If you pretend to pay, if everybody was paid till their heart was content, would we no longer have conversation? Shouldn't we be having conversation about 43% of our students can't read on grade level? Why is it that the absolute only thing that means anything, and it's important, surrounds the whole topic of just money? I go into schools, I'm not hearing teachers talk about how the kids need support at home, how the parents need support at home, how we need better curriculum, how half our kids are struggling with reading, how we're afraid they're not going to become good citizens. We're not even talking about the most important thing, our students. Number 2, I write what I speak as I sit up here and listen. I have never pre-written anything. And I'm going to read to you about that right now. How disappointing that the dialogue had to convince everyone that this board, a bunch of drones with no brains, had to pre-contrive or go to Chat GPT to say something. Let me explain what happened. I watched every one of our hearings, our negotiations. The board has been engaged in shade meetings for 4 months. $1.2 million, that's what we had. $1.2 million. We had an outside auditor come in, looked at what our proposal was, tried to find money. That auditor said, looks like that's all you have, $1.2 million. But the narrative, the negativity, the imposing ill will on other people with misconceptions and disinformation, 13 posts on a page with Grinches and unfairness. I'm going to tell you right now why this board didn't have to deliberate. Our minds were not made up. CCEA did a presentation with fabulous ideas, great speakers, well planned out, beautiful PowerPoints, everything was perfect. An enthusiastic vision that we would all love to embrace. But what they forgot to talk about was money. When the district got up, who had done a cost analysis on these ideas, things like leave buyback. When the district got up after this cost analysis, the board finds out that the union wishes would cost over $5 million. They couldn't get up there and say, hey, we need $5 million for these beautiful ideas. Why? Because they know we don't have the money. We had $1.2 million. The board struggled in shade meetings. We tried to find money. In fact, when you wanted to know where the materials money went, they went back through and looked at it line by line. And guess what? It wasn't found money, it was spent money. And lastly, we talk about solidarity. I want to talk about that for a second. I was unaware that I'm supposed to make a public announcement about how much money I earn goes to charity. Wow. I thought being humble and giving heart was what we were supposed to do. I was unaware I should post it up somewhere so everybody knows how many Thanksgiving baskets I bought for poor kids with no windows in their trailers. Excuse me for not understanding the rules. But I will talk about solidarity. Did CCEA give a discount of 20 or 30% to all of its members because they're struggling this year? Just asking. Do you think, in the name of solidarity, that every school that was just awarded funds from the state of Florida for being a school, in the name of solidarity, we should just take that money away and give it to all the teachers so everybody can have something? How about the teachers at the hard schools like I was always at, that could never be an A? How about that? How about we take the money and we divide it up evenly for the sake of solidarity? How about, I know, Ms. Kibble, you talk about solidarity. Did you take a pay cut and give it back to the teachers? I'm just curious at this point. Because you are unaware what this board does with their money. Unaware. In America, people have opportunities. We have choices. I was proud to sign the line to be a teacher. That money did not matter to me as much as it did to rescuing students. We talk about how we should be ashamed of ourselves. Money was not the most important thing when I walked into my classroom. It was never the most important thing when I walked into my classroom. This board and this superintendent over the last 4 months has said repeatedly, we are making a plan. We have given out more raises in the last 3 years than all the rest of the years combined. You don't hear anybody talking about that. Do you think when I retired at a top salary of $50,000 that was a mistake? Now it's 57. Not exactly, can't be quoted, but it has come up. You cannot undo 30 years of missed salaries. I don't even know how to explain it. Not sure where the union was those 15 years when I was making The same, I retired 4 years ago, making 48.9 in my 20th year with a master's. So I am not ashamed. I owe you nothing except to work as hard as I can. And I want everyone to understand that this district and this board and all the personnel understand that not just teachers need raises, because as a teacher, I was nothing without my staff. I was nothing without the lady who gave out free peanut butter and jellies. I was nothing without a counselor, a custodian, an admin. In fact, when I was at Wilkinson, we were an A school for 8 years, and we gave up every penny of our A school money to the students the entire time for 8 years. Not a single teacher took a dime. That's solidarity. We will continue to work for not only teachers, but every single person in this county. If you ever want to get together and talk about the 50,000 things we've done right in the last 3 years, not only to redo policies to help teachers, listening, raising pay when we have every dime we can, keeping our health insurance costs low, we don't want to talk about that. It is much easier to be divisive and divide us in a time where we should be standing together. And I went to Bannerman today, and I was proud to serve those kids their Christmas dinner. And it's the first time in a long time I can remember almost every single one of them said thank you. Because for me, that's what it's about, the kids. Madam Chair?
Thank you, Ms. Hanson. Thank you for that. A part of me wants to say something, and a part of me doesn't. I give you an amen on a lot of those things that you said, and I could sit up here and reiterate it. And I feel like you're danged if you do, you're danged if you don't. You want a reply, and then you get up and clear a room. We give a reply, you don't listen sometimes, not all of you. You don't go all in one compassed group. I want to be very clear on that. But those who have reached, well, some have reached out, not everyone has reached out. I want to be very clear on that too, because when they do reach out and I actually have an adult conversation with them, and they want to listen, they don't like the answers, but they understand. They understand where our heart is at. Because I don't know, I feel like I have to sit up here and repeat myself a lot. And today alone, actually, I spent probably, and this is no exaggeration, probably 6 hours on the phone with different people. That is zero exaggeration. Not complaining about it, would love to speak to any of you. Give me a call. I would love to sit down with you. You want to have meetings? I have always been open, transparent. You could always pick up the phone, call me. I have never been, if I've ever given you that reason or feeling, I apologize, but that has never been something that I personally have been meaning to, I guess I should say. And maybe I was raised differently. But what disgusts me is unprofessional behavior when your board wants to communicate with you and you don't receive the communication. When I ask you to reach out to me personally, instead of via comments through Facebook, call me, email me, invite me to your classroom. I would love to come. There are several times there has been, I don't want to say a message, but I don't know the word I'm trying to use, but we're not welcome in certain classrooms, or people want to avoid us, or they get a little nervous. But there are several board members that do visit schools and would love to come into your classroom, would love to sit down. If you want us to stay longer, what we don't want to do, what I personally don't want to do, is get in your way. That's what I don't want to do. I don't want to infringe on learning, ever. So if you want to invite a us as a board member, and well, I would love, it would have to be individually, I would almost say, just because of sunshine and, see, there's all these rules and laws, by the way, on everything. I would love to come to your school. I would love to come sit in your classroom. I would love to help you out. I would love to come stuff Tuesday folders. I would love to do any of that, cut out paper, every opportunity that I can get if I am available, if I don't have to go make gingerbread houses with my 2 little girls, I will be there. I have family who work in this district, a mother who has taught for 36 years, 36 years, and is still actively working. I have family members who are paraprofessionals. I have family members who work within the district in various different ways. I am a graduate of this county. I have children in our schools. I am vested in Clay County. I make several trips around the state of Florida, speaking to anyone and everyone. And I know it's like a broken record. We say this the last 4 months, several meetings, but you're still asking for these explanations. And I'm hoping you're listening, because anyone and everyone who will listen to us, we let them know that Clay County is going to be a county that struggles and bleeds out with certain changes and certain things that are going on and ideas that are going on in Tallahassee. We are constantly in contact, constantly. They're probably sick of answering our phones at this point, and every time they see us, they probably want to run. But I say all of that because I want all of you to know that we are working our butts off. We may not put it on a Facebook post. Some of us are better at posting than others. But I'm telling you right now, we are doing what we can. We're collaborating behind the scenes, trying to throw off ideas to see if these are great ideas, or is this going to hurt us even further? Because another commitment that we have committed to the taxpayers of Clay County is that we would spend your money wisely, and we wouldn't put ourselves in a financial strain where we're hurting. I had several people come up to me and ask me, well, what will it hurt to be under 3% with a fund balance? Why is that a big deal? I'll tell you why it's a big deal. The state of Florida will come in. You want to talk about no pay raise? They will come in and take over our finances. You won't have a pay raise. That's something that I promised that I would not do as your board member. This is an off year. This is not the year that we wanted. We literally had 1.2. That's all we had. And we wanted to take care of our veteran teachers because you all, Ms. Kidwell, came in month after month after month and asked us to retain our veteran teachers. Are we going to hold our salaries to catch up our veteran teachers when we do finally get money with our plans? Our veteran teachers have suffered for several years. I know this personally. This board, the last 3 years, not your endorsed candidates, not your previous board, this board, the last 3 years, has paid out the highest historically to catch up for the lack of those that came before us. 3 years. That's what we did. We put our teachers first. We did that. And we will continue to do that as long as the money is there. They will get it every time, all of it. That's what we do. We take care of our people because that's what leadership is. And we will continue to do that. And like Ms. Hanson said, you will probably never know what we do with our funds. But the teachers, the admin, and those who have felt those impacts will know. So I want all of you to know that this board will continue to stand with our teachers. We're not playing on emotions. We're not selling misinformation to get numbers up. That's not what we're doing here. We're not propaganda and we're not CNN News. we're telling the truth. And that's what we have on our side. And if any of you want to come and speak to us one-on-one, you want to call us, you want to email us, invite us to your classroom. We are there. We are there to hear you, and we will continue to fight for you guys. Like Ms. Hanson said, I can name several things you've asked for: focus, communication, new websites, ask where the funding went, transparency, auditors. We are answering everything you have asked us to do because we serve you, we serve the people, we serve these kids, because that is what's important. And I would really appreciate all of those who left to reach out, because if you truly cared about teachers and you truly cared about what was going on, you would. Instead of splitting up and not uniting and solidarity. I love the word that Ms. Hanson used. And I wasn't going to say anything. I sat here back and forth because if I do say something, I don't even know that I'll get an email. I won't get even a phone call. I'll get it next month in a comment. I'll get it on a Facebook post with a Grinch face or something. I don't know. I want adults to be adults in the room, and I want us to figure out how we can continue to move forward, because we are for the teachers. We are this board. This meeting is adjourned. Merry Christmas.